Revelations 2019.
2019. That was a workout.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so let me explain Revelations. It's at the end of the Bible. There you go.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Now, all right, Revelations. So I actually started this project, okay, back in 2000 and... Yeah, we on another song.
We like chop it up.
Yeah.
Song.
Yeah. So we do different segments every week, so... But,
That white bag in there too.
Oh, okay, cool. So Revelations started out back like 2003-ish, kind of. I'm not good with dates, but
Back on what, the second Christmas album? Or the first?
I don't even remember. That's how long old this song is, because like when I came from Georgia.
I think that was the first Christmas album, yo.
Yeah, because I mixed up the track. Came from Georgia, mixed up the track, went back to Georgia. You know what I mean? Left it at that. But I was going through like a horrible time trial personally, because like I said, I was going through like a dark room pretty much at that time. Shout out to Pat Mooney over at Savannah College of Art and Design, because he actually, when I had some issues and I went to go talk to him, because he's a psychiatrist over at the school at the time. I'm not sure if he's there now.
Probably not.
Like 20 years. Yeah, he probably retired, living on a yacht somewhere. But he said, the way you speak like eloquently, pretty much. Like you just don't be like, yeah, y'alls or whatever. He's like, you speak like you're a poet. So he's like, you should start writing some stuff down. Mm-hmm. So I went to go write some stuff down. So when I made the beat to Revelation, it was like, at that time of my life, I was actually afraid for my life. You know what I mean? So I was actually afraid for my life. And like really afraid for my life. So I wrote this song just in case something happened to me. I wanted to let everybody knows like where my head was at the time. And that's why I kind of like Revelation was actually like a prayer that I wrote, because I wanted to, it was to the point that around 2003, 2004, it was like either you, God, I say, no, I had enough. I say, either you're going to save me or kill me. Like, I'm tired. And sometimes it gets real like that, especially when you're unsaved and you're trying to fight your own battles with your hands, besides fighting, with the Lord on your side and letting Him handle your battles. So it got to that point. So that's why, like, I said it as a prayer. I was like, as I look up to the sky, I'm searching for dreams, for the means of survival, looking for my spiritual revival. So I was like, it's getting to the point that I was admitting to yourself that something's wrong with me. I need to get this fixed, or it's just going to end right here and right now. Like, it's just the final point. That's why I called it Revelation, because it was the final point of my life, to the point that I just do something, you know what I mean? So do something, Right. And like when I made the beat, it was inspired by the inspiration behind that beat was from a Biggie joint.
Okay.
It was what you call it?
What's happening from that Ready to Die?
No, actually it was from the I think it was like the No Way Out album. It was the one with the Rocky John, Victory.
Okay. That actually wasn't on one of his albums. That was
it was Puff Daddy's, like a collab, right?
It was for the boxing game.
Yeah, because that's when I first heard it. Because I heard it on Fight Night 2000.
Yeah.
That's how I'm like, had the Rocky theme. I'm like, yo. I'm like, this joint is crazy. So I'm like, it's to the point that I would like pause the game, or try to pause the game to go back to the joint. You got something?
Yeah, for you. Yeah.
God's chosen fast. Oh, thank you, bro. Learn how to do that. So like it went to it was like the way the beat, because like people interpreted the beat like Rocky fighting,
right.
whatever, like he's fighting. So when I wrote the lyrics, but see, I made the beat before I wrote the lyrics, but it fit for what I was trying to achieve. Like, I'm fighting for my life, and this is like the final call, like the final bell's about to ring. So, but it's like, of course, you know, I couldn't use that beat because that was copyrighted
Yeah,
first
but,
beat.
you know.
So it was, I started making the beat, but I kind of wanted to have that same feeling, like it was a war chant. So that's why, like when I first mixed the track, I wanted the harps to be like this, like a dong 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 dong, like I wanted like a war chant. You know what I mean? This is a war on my life. You know what I mean? Because this is like the last hurrah. You know? So that was how I was trying to mimic myself on, like, this is a war chant. So when I made the beat in 2000, in like the early 2000s, it didn't manifest the way it did to where I wanted it at until 2019. So this beat was actually 16 years old.
Yeah, this is real. It was on the first Christmas album.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, because I remember you had it on it.
The one with the blue cover.
Yeah, and like to the point, it was like, and at that time, like I said, I was kind of going on hiatus. I didn't really care about doing music. Like I cared, but like I cared about it as a hobby.
Right.
And I went and did that, and you know, just thought, you know, whatever. But then I started getting serious with it again. And then I go on the hiatus, got serious with it again.
Yeah,
like I ended up making like 10 different versions, I think, of that beat.
Yeah, we chipped at that thing for like a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
Just working on the beat.
Yeah. So then with that final product, which came out in 2019, that probably was actually the 10th version.
Right.
I worked on that beat.
Right.
Because like the beginning of the beat didn't have the it didn't have none of that.
Right.
It just had just the and like the reason why I had the choir sound like that is because it's revelation. It's a war chant on my life. This is the final battle, but it was like kind of like a church theatrical theme setting.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was like I wanted to hear the choir like on like as if it was like we was in the cathedral and they were singing a hymn to my pretty much either life or death, and that's why I made the beat as it was.
But we're on the 300.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like as you progress through it, I realized things needed to be more changed. So then I started putting the piano on my verse. Dun, 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 dun. And you know, and when I started spitting my verse initially, that's how I made that my verse like evolved the way it did.
Right.
Now the problem was I didn't know how your verse was. So at the first few versions,
Well, it's the same verses.
yeah, but you know, honest to truth, bro.
We just spit it different.
But see, honest to truth, I didn't even remember your verse.
Okay.
So like I didn't know how to map it out, but then again I was working on Cakewalk and I didn't care about making music. I just like to do a hobby.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So I wasn't serious about the beat until I came out of that hiatus in like 2018. And like the credit to coming out of hiatus is when, because like all right, like okay, another road beat, murdering people, you know, smacking chicks up, and I'm doing that gesture because I'm not saying punching chicks, I mean smacking chicks up and stuff like that. Okay, all right, whatever. But yeah, so
Generic.
Yeah, generic stuff. So then when he came out, the first beat that kind of woke me up from hiatus was like back, I want to say, when you went back to the studio in South Philly this time, because you had to go to the Millennium Sound Studio up in Center City. You did Understand for the first time.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, this is the first actual mature track that my brother had said without, machete chopping.
Yeah, it was Understand was, like I said, I was going through depression.
Yeah.
That's when me and Keisha were clicking.
Yeah.
So that's a real track.
Right.
You know what I mean? And most nights wanting to cry, up late, can't sleep, deep thoughts rumble in peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was writing, like you said, writing for my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so yeah, that's what Understand was. Understand that like when you talk about writing for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Because you need to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was me talking to me.
And and then with throughout the progression of the beat Revelation, I wanted it to sound more grittier too. Right. So it was a dirty beat. Like I consider that a dirty beat. Like I consider that one of the most grimiest beats I ever made in my life because it was like, yeah, you're trying to be a Christian artist, but it's not. It's like my root wasn't always Christian.
Right.
My root was somewhere really in the gutter, dirty. You know what I mean? Like the parts of my life you wouldn't even think I would even went through in my life. You know what I mean? Like I used to chill out with homeless people when I was out in Savannah. Like who chilled out with homeless people that you don't know singing in front of a fire barrel?
You voluntarily chose
to live with
the chill
Right.
people who has no connection to society.
Exactly. So it was just like it was just a horrible time period. But by the grace of God, He chose. You know, when I say either save me or kill me, He chose to save me. But because of that, because like I tell you the real, I wouldn't even been alive probably by 2005. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. I would be dead. Okay. So like.
Okay.
So like God ended up saving me, but then He blessed me more by me. Like the more I wanted to end my life, the more God showed me the reason not to. And because of that, because God chose to work and get me back towards Him, and that's when I started meeting my wife Jenny. That's when I started having kids. Like this life I have right now is something I never imagined I had at that time. And so like, and back to, because I digressed a little bit, when I didn't know your way you did your verse. So then when we started remapping it, and, for the album, actually the way I had it in my head, but what you put down was actually better than what I thought I had in my head. And that's what I liked about our styles, because it was the same. The core was the beat, the core part. But mine was just like pianos with strings playing, where yours is just straight piano, just
it's really grungy
to the point. And that's why our styles matched up so great, because it was like, and it came out to be a very beautiful piece. Now, like I knew from the jump that this beat was not gonna make sense to a lot of people, because that track was like a spiritual. That's a spirit talking to a spirit kind of thing. So but the people who understood it was like kind of reaching out to them, because if you're to that point, that's when you know you gotta go to God. Because at the end of my verse, I said, Lord, forgive me because I know I'm in trouble.
Right.
And that's why, like, it just to reiterate that you don't have to be a thug to struggle. So that's why I said just because I'm not a thug, it doesn't mean I ain't struggle. Because when you hear in the hip hop culture, you think about the drugs and we grinding through these streets. Like big ups to Ghostface Killah, one of the illest rappers out there. We want to talk about his tracks, how he used to live, as a kid in the hood and stuff like that. KRS-One.
Yeah, he has a mask on his face because he was running from the cops.
Exactly. Like KRS-One, B's branded on the shelf and stuff.
Yeah.
Like.
KRS-One was at one point was homeless.
Right. And like I didn't want people to think that the black culture was all just that. So that's why I said just because I'm not a thug, it doesn't mean I ain't struggle. Because there's white people that struggle, Asians people that struggle, Hispanics people that struggle with some personal in their lives to the point they need God or they're just gonna die. And
I like how you said this, because you wasn't raised in the hood.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I could take a situation to act mellow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anybody can pop off and lose it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you seen it today. You see a lot of shootings out there from rural areas that's not even hoods.
Right.
So it's like, it was just like the last calling to Christ. That's what Revelation was. It was my last call to Christ. I'm begging for Him to come and save me before I die. And you see what happened. He saved me.
My Revelation verse was me apologizing to God.
Okay.
My thoughts rehabilitation, mistaken steps of making the door world revelation. For so long I wasted God's patience in the land of my degradation, loving my sin, throwing love to the wind, fake progression growing from within. The clock child signified to change my wish. Father, I quit, turning to the mountain, screaming for help. Outside on the bended knee, devils they know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that was without seeking the Lord's face.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my quality of life is so different.
I love how you said it too.
Like so different. You know what I'm saying? my whole, after accepting Christ and studying and deciding that's the way I wanted to go, the way I saw life was so different from what I used to see.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before it was all about get the money, get the cash, get the chicks, get all you can get at whatever cost. You know what I mean? But now it's like, no, who can I help now? You know what I mean?
Right.
I talked to people about like some of the Christmas albums. I said, you'll never see nobody's face on it because it's not about us.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
I remember you saying that too.
You'll never see us on the front. We may be inside, we may have some pictures inside, but on the cover itself, you'll never see nobody's face because it's not about us.
Right.
And I see these gospel artists putting out albums. I know it's about marketing and things like that, but you are not the focus.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what the Lord told me about this Christmas album. He said, don't put your face on the cover because it's not about you. It's about me talking to the people who need help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I dig it.
so my whole focus with the music changed from chasing money to how many people's lives can I touch?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I see these gospel artists, man, and they, not to name no names, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to open up that can of worms, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've seen the way some of these gospel artists act. And for them to still try to make it just proves my point that they're not in line with God's will.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you still trying to build yourself and your brand name after you've been signed for such and such years? Why are you still chasing earthly treasures? You know what I'm
It's
saying?
kind of like the hip hop business when they suck you out of a bad contract.
You know, it's crazy to me, man. And I'm like, you're pointing your gun in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, my whole thing is I don't want my face on the cover.
Yeah, and just to iterate like what we said earlier a while ago, that I mixed that track. He worked on his vocals, but he worked on my vocals. But I mixed that whole track the way it was, to the point that like I was really tedious. Like, this is one of the things I wrote. This is one to understand, but this is like how it was.
His
like,
thought pattern.
My thought pattern. I told like one of the things: lower vocals by 5%, lower hook vocals by 10%. Raise strings and everything by 5%, but leave the drums as it is at that level. Like, I was writing him notes, and he probably was like, "What in the world?" Like,
what's 5%?
5%, you know.
5% of what?
But we went through so much work on that, like to the point that he didn't even like how the vocals were. He wanted to redo all the vocals. And then when I did the vocals on, my wife said, "No, it don't sound right. You want you to do it again."
Yeah, he must have been like 50 million takes.
It was crazy too, because my wife said it don't sound right. So like me and her ended up getting an argument during the production to find out
what
do you mean? Like,
you gotta be specific so I can fix it.
That's what I was like. It's like I'm not saying that what you saying ain't nothing to me because I'm an artist. I just don't know what you want. Like just tell me what you want.
Tell me what you want.
Tell me what you want. I'll fix it. And she was like, I don't know. I said, you know what? We're just gonna do the whole thing over again. So so I did different takes. I was like, we good on that? And she was like, yeah, we good on that. So but the end product was so like, I couldn't be pleased more with it. Of course, as an artist, I felt like, yeah, there's still little things I want to do, but I'm done with it. I worked for it for 16 years. What more do you want from me? I'm good. It's over. Bye.
That's the last iteration.
That's it. No more. No more. Unless y'all want to do some kind of techno mixtape in the club.
That's on you.
That's you. But just make sure I get a copy of it, because I'm not gonna knock a dude trying to make money off of it, but I just want to hit it so I hear it so I can just bump into it in the car. All right.
That's it.
And that's what's Revelation. Fight for your life.
2019.
Final point. All right.
You know what my favorite time of the day is? Midnight. Because oftentimes the night represents the trouble and storms we face when we're in the season of opposition, which all of us, saved or unsaved, experienced in our lives. But when we find the Lord Jesus Christ and have Him take control of our lives, it's like a changing of the guard in the battle for our lives. Joy comes in the morning, but before we get there, we still got 6 hours left. But this time, God's gonna direct our path to peace.
Welcome to the revelation, the last gate. We the chosen few can't wait to see the pearly gates. and the touch of souls may propel us to the next place, and our rhymes maintain the best grace. Now, welcome to the revelation, the last gate, where a touch of souls made behind the pearly gates awaits like a chosen few propelled to the next place, and our rhymes maintain the best grace.
As I look into the sky, I'm searching for dreams, for the means of survival, looking for my spiritual revival. It seems in life I'm getting attacked, trying to take my steps to God, devil's pulling me back to his hell. The dungeon where all men fell, people gave a loving God and they never prevailed, but not me, I'm still living on this earth. But what it's worth, I still got the choice before my life will get worse. But it's hard to make that choice when you're torn in half, tempted by the barriers of each path, not to mention the curses and the stripes. Cause if you think each path bears the sacrifice of life, I know that I ain't right, cause I sat in tears for years looking for my holiest sight, but I can't hear the devil's talking in my ear to do only wrong. Hell is where I belong, I'm trapped inside the dungeons of my mind, and realize that mankind would always get worse, whether crawling or walking or a step in the hearse. The wages of sin is death, so every breath I'll be cursed. Every breath I'm screaming to release the pain, the anger, the hatred, the fire that is up in my veins. But I'm doing this in vain, cause it's killing me. Devil's trying to steal me away from the one who can heal me. Lord, forgive me cause I know I'm in trouble. Just because I'm not a thug, it doesn't mean I ain't struggle. Just because this little fellow wasn't raised in the ghetto, it doesn't mean I can take a situation and stay mellow. Please come and tell this little fellow, cause I need your light. I need you to change all my wrong to right. Lord, I want no more pain and no more strife. Lord, I want bad that meaning in my life. This is my revelation.
Mr. Clear, you know what's really eye-opening? When you realize that you're thinking through fleshly wisdom and seeing things through human eyes, there's no room left to please God. Romans speaks of how the carnal man has a problem, mainly overcoming our limitations. This is done first in the spirit, which then overrules the flesh's power on our thoughts. My thoughts rehabilitation from mistaken steps awakens into a world of revelation. For so long I wasted God's patience in the land of my degradation, loving my sins, throwing love to the wind, faith progression growing from within. The clock chimes signify the change of my wits. Father, I quit, turning to the mountain, screaming for help. My sign, now I'm bending knee, devils they melt. Lord, your presence is felt. So sorry for the delay, pride or replay. Let my life to go astray, so I'm back with a vengeance now. Hard through repentance, corrupt laws in my soul, so I beg for forgiveness. Out of darkness, no longer my role in my sentence. My quality of life is so different. So blessed to the stress of the devil's attempts to catch rank upon the strength of my breath. Looking forward to reconnect to the next level, away from the flesh. And you can bet, as a soldier, that I'm chopping off next. Give respect to the test, people crying for Christ, taking them strength for this mortal shell of a life. Never thinking twice to walk on. Righteous behavior is with eyes wide open that I'm praising my Savior. Hallelujah, thank you God for saving us from the penalties and sin before we return to the dust. Welcome to the revelation, the last gate. We the children who can't wait to see the pearly gates, and the touch of souls may propel us to the next place, and our rhymes maintain the best grace. Now, welcome to the revelation, the last gate, where a touch of souls may behind the pearly gates awaits like a chosen few propelled to the next place, and our rhymes maintain the best grace. Now, welcome to the revelation, the last gate, where the children who can't wait to see the pearly gates, and the touch of souls may propel us to the next place, and our rhymes maintain the best grace. Now, welcome to the revelation, the last gate, where a touch of souls may behind the pearly gates.